Well, I thank you for coming on Heritage Hip Hop because I'm not going to stand out. I ain't nobody's fan. I respect you as a man, first and foremost. Let me say that. One. Two, I respect the genius that you hold because it's not phony. And one thing my partner could tell you, I hate phony bullshit. Like, I can't stand phony people. Make my skin crawl. Can't do it. And number three, as a man of character and of color, you are part of the history that's forgotten in the world because you scare people who lack the sense to learn and rather be adverse to you.
Or I try to pull people out of their comfort zone.
And that's what we need in society.
Yeah.
Everybody's too comfortable.
Definitely.
We give trophies to people who lose. Like, I don't get that.
Yeah, 9th place trophies.
Yeah, I'm good. So please tell everybody how to get in contact with you and to follow you and
it's always A Squad Rebel Radio on YouTube, A Squad Rebel Radio Facebook page. Make sure you go there first. A Squad Rebel Radio. Go there first. And then put in your think tank, your search engine, Scumbag Chronicles. I'm on every Wednesday, 8 to 10. My Instagram is super SOOPA _ Steve. SOOPA _ Steve. That's my Instagram. My Facebook is Stephen McCaster. That's my real name. I go up under my real moniker, Stephen McCaster. And you can catch my show on YouTube, Wednesday, 8 to 10, under the 8 Squad Rebel Radio banner. And you can catch me on my Facebook page, Stephen McCaster. Now, if you send me a friend request, I'm going to scrutinize you if I don't know who you are, because there's a lot of nosy people out there and they're agents. So I'm very lascivious about who I accept as a friend. But if you let me know Heritage Hip Hop put you on, I'm definitely going to accept you as a friend because I trust Heritage Hip Hop. I respect their vehicle, and I salute them for taking time to talk to me. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for coming because guess what? How many times have we had interviews and people didn't show up?
Yeah, that's the gag.
Yeah, that's whack.
So what's going to happen is this vehicle is going to explode, and what they're going to say is you're acting funny.
Yeah.
No, but I gave you an opportunity to help push the vehicle. Now that I'm riding 100 miles an hour, I can't slow down to let you in.
Exactly. So let's have some fun. Now, usually I ask rapid fire questions, which are not yes, no questions.
Okay.
They're questions that could require thought, but they're more about you than anything else. Okay. So let's have some fun. You're a hip hop head, just like I am.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you hip hop questions, and I'm going to ask you media questions since you do media that's not hip hop. So here's my first question. What's the most influential album that changed your life in hip hop?
The most influential album that changed my life or made me look at things differently?
Yep.
Wow, that's a hard question right there, because I would have to say there were two albums that made me really slow down and say, oh shit. One was NWA Straight Outta Compton. I was a teenager, and that album drove me up the wall. The second album was Tupac, Me Against the World. The way he came on that album, how he came with the sensitivity, the adversity, he gave you the gangster shit, and he gave you the pain of where I need to go as a man. Those two albums really, there's so many other albums, but those two albums really resonated with me because, like I said, NWA, Straight Outta Compton, I couldn't believe what they were talking about because it was happening in Newark, especially with the crack epidemic back then. So I was like, oh shit, these guys are serious. And then Tupac, Me Against the World, it was very reflective, it was deep, it was melodic, and he came with lyrics that were very much sincere. It wasn't a braggadocious album, it was pretty much sincere the way he laid down certain stories and related certain tales. I would say those are the two albums that made me go, okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the artist that opened your eyes to the new world of hip hop? Most influential, I mean.
The artist who got me into hip hop or made me
the
love
most
it.
influential in your life. It doesn't have to be a rapper, but it's somebody in hip hop that really did something that changed your life.
The artist in hip hop who was really influential was KRS-One.
How so?
Because he came with Criminal Minded, which was mind-boggling. Then he came with My Philosophy, which started teaching me. Then he came with You Must Learn. And then he came with Edutainment, the blueprint of hip hop. Love's Gonna Get You. His movement, his education, his courage, his arrogance, and his knowledge of how to put them lyrics down. And I never seen anyone challenging him yet. I never seen anybody say, I'm about to battle KRS-One tomorrow. KRS-One, you a pussy. I never seen anybody step to him or try to punch him or swing on him. I've never seen anybody go at him lyrically. So I would say KRS-One. He really opened my eyes. Now, first it was Melly Mel with The Message.
Okay.
He sparked me. And I was like, whoa, what is this music? Melly Mel sparked me. with the message, because that was even with Beat Street Breakdown, Melly Mel sparked me with the way he ran it down. You know what I'm saying? You can't play ball in the hollow halls. $1 million gift, yet you died for nothing at all. So that's the story of Ramo, who died on the train tracks. But he sparked it, because Melly Mel, he was telling those vivid stories, and it was so intelligent. But it was too advanced for me as an 8, 9-year-old. When KRS-One started telling certain stories and bringing that knowledge, Akibulan was the original name of Africa, now stripped of her fame. I was learning, and it was funky. He called himself the teacher. He did just that to me.
True.
He taught me how the 9mm go bang. He taught me that he told me that the girlies is free, but the crack costs money. Okay? Scott LaRock was the super hoe. And then next, it was my philosophy on the industry. Brothers dissing me, or even wishing he softened, dilute, or commercialize all the lyrics. But it's about time one of y'all hear it. Hear it firsthand from an intelligent brown man, a vegetarian. No go for ham, no chicken or turkey or hamburger. Cause to me, that's suicide, self-murder. Let us get back to what we call hip-hop and what it meant to DJ Scott LaRock. God damn.
And everybody who don't know what that is, you corny. That's my philosophy.
KRS-One opened me up to that. You know what I'm saying? And also, I was a big LL Cool J fan, because he was just awesome.
Yeah.
Handsome, got all the ladies, powerful, braggadocious. He was just awesome. But KRS-One is the man who made me say yeah. And Rakim, the God MC.
Now, being that you do media and not, I'm gonna come back to that. Being that you do media and not hip hop on the level of rapping, has there ever been a media platform that inspired you to know that your voice is just as powerful as those people who stand on stage?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The media platform that made me think, if I think back, to make me think that I could even be as charismatic or on the microphone, was Richard Bey with 9 Broadcast Plaza back in the day. That used to come on Channel 9. That's before Maury, J.D. Jones. His name was Richard Bey. He had a show called 9 Broadcast Plaza. And it was so real, and it was so sloppy. He didn't have, the guests were bugging out. He'd go in the audience, then he'd get upset and say, where did they find these people? But his show was a zoo, but it was fun, it was intellectual. And then it seemed like a lot of people bit that formula. So it's Jenny Jones, and then what's the other one? The fat, skinny white lady. I forgot her name.
Fat
Ricky Lake.
Skinny white.
Yeah, she was fat and skinny. You know, fat, skinny bitch. But anyway, then you had Oprah and Phil Donahue, who were on a different level of intellect. But Richard Bey with 9 Broadcast Plaza, he brought it to you. And then Geraldo, but Geraldo was a racist prick. But Richard Bey, 9 Broadcast Plaza, and then I followed Wendy Williams heavy, because Wendy Williams was coming with the heat, unapologetic. And then that birth star and Buck Wild, who came and gave me that spark, like, these guys are wild as hell. And that opened me up to make me think, hey, all the shit I want to say on the microphone is in the vein of these people, and I can do it. I just have to do it in a way that's offensive, fun, and educational.
Okay. If there was a defining moment that defines who you are, be it in media or hip hop, what is it?
Personal or just those two forms?
Go any way you want.
Well, a defining moment in my life would be it would be a time when I was being bullied by this guy named John in the projects and all. Rest in peace, J-Bone. And he was pushing me around. He punched me in my chest. Now, I wasn't afraid, but I was just in a weird place of what to do. And I looked up, and my mother was in the window. And my mother said, either you fight him or you fight me. So John bucked up to me and looked at me like, now what? And when I looked up in the window, my mother was gone. I knew she was coming downstairs. So I jumped on John's ass, and I put something on his ass. I was screaming and hollering, ripping his shirt, biting him, punching him, kicking him. He ran, I chased him, knocked him down, and beat him up again. And then my mother came outside, I breathing hard because I wanted to fight. My mother came downstairs, and I looked at her. She slapped the shit out of me and beat my ass all the way upstairs. She told me, I'm not raising a girl. She said, I'm not raising a pussy. I could have had a girl for that. And she whooped my ass from all the way to the 7th floor. And then we got in the house, she told me, when she said fight him or fight me, and I looked at her and looked at him and looked back, she said it took me too long to decide. So she's gonna remove all doubt from my ass. That was a defining moment in my life. Stand up for yourself and don't test your mother. Those are two things I learned. Stand up for yourself, don't be a pussy, and respect this black woman right here. So that would be a defining moment. That would be the earliest definitive moment in my life, you know. So,
when Scumbag or Dr. Scum writes his book, what is the title and who are you talking to in hopes to reach?
Well, if I write the book Scumology, I would be talking to myself.
Trademark that name, please.
Scumology. I would be talking to myself, but it's gonna sound like I'm talking to you. I'll read the book and I'll hear me saying it, but just like the pastor in church, he's reading the book and laying down that sermon, but you feel like he's talking to you, but he's talking to himself. The book is gonna be read like that. I'm talking to me, but you're gonna think I'm talking about you, which is gonna make it easy to read and digest, and it's gonna be very palatable for everyone.
You know what's funny? That's why I wanted to go back to what you said about Tupac, KRS-One, and Rakim, because those MCs used exactly what you do now. Because Tupac talked about the evils of the world from an honest hood mentality. KRS-One educated from the fact that he had to be educated, and he gave it back. Rakim raised your spirit by not only talking about spirituality from the seventh sign.
That's right.
He also, even in the ghetto, talked about birth, and then as he elevated, know the ledge, which is about knowledge, and people didn't get it.
He even had a black woman tune, Mahogany. And here's the thing about Rakim. He was one of the hardest MCs on the planet and rarely cursed.
Yeah.
If you listen to his discography, you hardly hear bitch, motherfucker, fuck. You'll hardly hear a curse word, but his message was pungent, powerful, and respected and feared. And he rarely used a curse word or rarely talked about sex. Now match that.
Now I'm gonna ask you that. I say about now you're talking about the power of words, what's called diction, and being an orator. If people can censor the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, if Reza Islam, who thank God he got out of jail whether today or yesterday,
right,
can be incarcerated for standing up and speaking. When you talk to your students, not your fans, the people you're educating, what would you teach them about the voice and how it should be used?
I would tell them, use the truth as your weapon, but know when to use the truth. You don't use the truth all the time, every day, all the time. You use the truth as a proper weapon. You just can't run around telling the truth. You have to know when to tell the truth, how to tell the truth, and you have to weaponize the truth for yourself and for others. If you ask me something honestly, I gotta weaponize that truth to where my weapon will help you. I don't just walk around telling people the truth every day. That shit is offensive. You get your ass kicked just walking to people telling them the truth. Because who the fuck is you to tell me this?
Yeah.
When you ask me for the truth, I weaponize it. I know when to tell it and how to tell it. Use the truth as your weapon. Just know how to use that weapon. That's what I would tell them about their voice. Your voice is extremely powerful, and the truth can make or break you or someone else. Know how to tell it and when to tell it, and weaponize it.
Two more things. You reminded me just now of one of my favorite comic books. You like comic books?
Yeah, I used to be a comic book guy back in the day.
What was your comic book of choice?
Incredible Hulk.
Incredible Hulk.
I was like in Wolverine and the X-Men.
Wolverine and the X-Men.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever heard of the comic book Black?
Actually, I haven't. Is that by a new black author who's been out for about 9 years now?
No.
Okay.
It's by Black Mass Comics. It's from a team of people. And Black is about the history of America, where Caucasians found out that people with brown skin had powers. So from slavery into contemporary America, they were kidnapping and killing people of color because they wanted to harvest the Negro gene, because that's where all supernatural abilities and godlike abilities came from. So they had their team of what we call Uncle Tom sellouts. And shout out to Uncle Tom, because he really wasn't a sellout. He stood up for black people. But it was Sambo who was the enemy. But they had their team of sellouts who wanted to take all the people of color who had powers out and make them go towards the government. And it was a rebel band who was like, fight the power, stand up for your own, kind of Public Enemy X-Clannish, and was teaching people of color, no, stand up for yourself because God gave you these powers, now be the people you're supposed to be. And the boy who was caught in the middle was the chosen Messiah, because he had the power of anyone he ever came in contact with, and he was the next generation of power to come. You represent that to me with Scumbag Chronicles. I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm going to tell you why. Because if you don't spark the mind of the person to come, change will never take place. And for us to keep talking about racism and sexism and things against black people, that means nobody did anything. The conversation may have been had, but either there's a team trying to shut down the conversation while other people are trying to fight us to have the conversation, but the person caught in the middle has to make the decision to spark the change. By sparking the change, you're leaving a legacy. What is the legacy of Scumbag Chronicles in the year 3028 when they find your show, or they find your book, or they find recordings of your lecture tour that you're going to have one day? What is it going to be that you sparked the world? How did you make the world better with your legacy?
I made the world better with my legacy by offending those who needed to be offended. I made the world better with my legacy by unmasking my own insecurities to make people secure in their own insecurities. I made the world better by being honest and brutal, but at the same time funny and palatable. I made the world better by definitely trying to become a better person, using this show as a therapeutic model to air my dirty laundry in an entertaining way, which heals myself, which helps me heal others. That's what I would say. My show is like a backhanded compliment. My show is like the drunk uncle who you love so much, who's always there for you, but he's drunk and he says some foul shit at the right time. It's foul, but it needed to be said. You know, my show is like your father who's gonna come home and beat your ass for fucking up in school, but after that, he's gonna talk to you and let you know I love you. If you fuck up again, I'm gonna kick your ass again. That's the type of show. Who's that? Nah. That's the type of show it is, you know what I'm saying? That's what my legacy will be. Making sure I gave you something great. I also gave you discipline. I gave you structure. I gave you comedy. And I gave you a transparency that lets you know that I'm a real person just like you.
So everybody out there that wants to be a part of this legacy as it's getting built, please go to A Squad Rebel Radio on Facebook and YouTube every Wednesday night from 8 to 10. And not only witness history, but be a part of the change to figure out what side you're on. Are you with the side for change? Are you with the side that's peaceable? Or are you going to spark the minds of those by being sparked yourself by great, intelligent conversation with a little bit of scum into it? This is Karev, Heritage Hip Hop. We say peace, and we out.
Salute.
Real hip hop. Real